what like a rental houses design. We will be looking at how to create these homepage and this details page. We will do that from scratch. That is, I'm going to create a new Flutter project and then run it and then start off from scratch, so that like we understand everything about maybe if you have this as your project, how you can go about it. And then yeah, so let's get started. So I'll open up my VS Code real quick. Yeah, this is it. Then you remember the procedures of creating a Flutter project. Okay, so I have Control Shift and P. Then I have this Flutter new project command. So I'll just click on this, and then you're asked application, empty application, skeleton. So I'll just click application. Then they will ask me to select the folder. So I'll select desktop, and yeah, I want it at my desktop. Then the name of the project, remember to keep it lowercase. And if you want to separate two words, you use an underscore. So we'll say something like you design layout. Let's just call it that, and then I'll click on enter. And yeah, that's all about creating a Flutter project. There is an available update. Don't worry about this for now. Then acha kwanza I make this one a little bit bigger so that you will be able to see clearly. So the font hapa, I'll make it 23. That works. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I think this one is clear to everybody. Ikiwa hapo. Then yeah, so this is like the app that is created when you create an empty Flutter project, a new Flutter project. Yeah, then I will bring up Visor so that I can mirror my own device to the screen. So real quick, Visor is opening. Meanwhile, I can be running this basic application, then how you'll go about it. So when you're creating this design, the first question you ask yourself is, how do I approach it? Like, what do I see? Like, how do I approach this layout? The images, the icons, the text, and the bottom navigation bar, and everything. Like, how do we approach it? So the first thing is to divide this thing like horizontally. First of all, you can see like everything is divided on top of each other from the top to the bottom. And remember, we said that the widget that arranges items from top to bottom is a column. So this is like a big column of items. Okay. And then what items are these? So you first like divide. I don't know if there is a zoom. Yeah, I can zoom in. Okay, zoom in just a little bit so that you see. Yeah, let's zoom again. Zoom. I think that's enough. So when you look at this, like how do you go about this? So the best or the recommended thing is to just isolate this in groups, like zenye ziko within the same layout. So for example, we have this top part which has this little menu icon, then the text, that is maybe the city name or the country name, and then these notifications icon. So this is like a group, and then you approach this one like a group whereby you have the search area and this filter, maybe filter icon. And then this, what you see here, this is like something that scrolls horizontally juu ya hii nyumba yenye imekatwa hapa. So like you can see there are other items and they are scrolling horizontally. And then we have these popular and see more titles over here. And then finally, we have these thing like a vertical list of items with this and this, and probably another ones here down below. And at the end, we have this bottom navigation bar. So when you have that layout at the mind, it will help you to group, to even group your code, like when you come to creating the real design. Likewise, over here, we have this app bar. Let's call it a custom app bar. And then we have the image part. Then we have these title and the address, something like that, and this favorites icon. Then we have the description over here, and then this panel with the overview and these images, and finally these buttons, the action buttons. Okay, so after you have grouped that like into these categories, it like makes it easier for you to write the code for it, like when in groups. And also when you come to things like separating the widgets, we'll see how it will be helpful. Like instead of writing all this code together, we will be able to separate the widgets into smaller workable chunks. So I can see our app is already running. So okay, let's see the failure. Okay, let me run it again. Something I did not accept the installation on my phone. Copy Visa. Open Visa. Yeah, then I'll bring up my phone. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why it is not displaying my phone. Sijui mbona ina misbehave sahi, but let's see. Our app is already built and installed on my device. Ama iko nyuma hapa. No. It must be somewhere. Let me exit this and open it again. Very quick. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, so this is it. It's unrotate. Okay, so this is my physical device. I have mirrored it using Visa on the screen, and like tuweze kuona everything as we code along. Yeah, so this is like the basic counter app that is created with an empty Flutter project. If you manage to create a project no run on your phone, you saw similar something similar to this with this button, whereby when you click on it, this counter starts incrementing, like from 0, hivo. And yeah, so today what we are going to do is we are going to create this layout, this whole page hapa, and then when you click on each of these items, kama ni hii nyumba ya kwanza, inakuleta hapa on the details page, whereby we have the details like details in depth. Okay. Yeah, so the first order of business is to delete all of this, like the code responsible for all of this. So kuna hii my homepage class, nitaifuta yote like that. Then I remove these comments, hivo. And yeah, I'll also do away with this and this, and everything hapa kwa home. Remember we said the home is the first page that is shown when this launches. Like, what do you want to be shown as the first screen? I give an example, like Flutter, like WhatsApp. Vile ukiclick your icon ya WhatsApp, you have this green page with the logo, the WhatsApp logo hapo, and some text hapa chini, maybe meta or something like that. So that is called splash screen. So unaweza like mostly hiyo ndo inapasiwa hapa kwa home because it's the first like the screen that users see when they tap on the icon of your app. But in our case, we just want the direct, we want to just see the home page direct. Yeah, so what we do, we'll not create the scaffold here. We will create a separate file. Actually, we'll create two files, one for the home page and one for the details page. Over here, this will be the home page. This will be the details page. So this is how we do it. So inside this lib folder, you have the main.dat by default. So unakuja hapa is this icon, the new file, the one that is on the leftmost hapo. You click on it, and I don't know why it is. Yeah, so it will show something like this. Then you'll type in the name of that file. There are rules that govern how we name these files. First of all, there must be no any block letter and no spaces, like when you're creating those files. It's similar to naming your Flutter project. So for our case, we have the home page. So I'll just write home.dat, and then another one for the details page. So this will be the details. The page will have an underscore details underscore page that, and you have to input that extension so that the program can know that these are that writing. Click on enter. So this is an empty file and this is an empty file. And remember hapa kwa main, we are yet to pass something hapa kwa home, which is the home page. So let's create that home page. So this pilot, I'll just disable it for now. Okay. So the first order of business, you remember, you import material. It will give us the detail, the default icons and widgets that we need. Then we create a stateless widget for homepage. And if you remember, a simple way of doing that is by typing stls. And then you have these suggestions over here. They are called snippets, like code that is written and given to you that is like boilerplate code. It makes it easier for you to create these widgets bila kuandika all those boilerplate codes. Like when I click on this, you'll see all this, the class this extends this, the super key override widget build method, blah blah blah. So instead of using all of this, you just write stls, meaning these are stateless widgets, and then they only give you a chance to rename it. So we'll just rename it to homepage, home, like that. The naming of a class should be, it's called, maybe, what is it called? Uppercase. Yeah, whereby we have the first letter as a block letter, and any other letter, like for a new word, you have to have a capital letter on it. So in our case, this is homepage. And then what will it return? We just give an empty scaffold, because if you remember, we said the scaffold is like what gives us anything that you see on the screen, the up bars, the body, bottom navigation, all that. So we'll just return this empty scaffold for now. So how do you call this homepage kwa pale home, like in our main.dat? Because you cannot write all that code in the same file. You have to like separate it into these readable and manageable codes that are related to each other. Like codes za homepage zinakaa hapa kwa homepage.dat, za details page likewise. So the way we do it is you come here, you copy this name of the widget, that is the stateless widget. Your page unakuja hapo unaipass homepage hivyo, then you have your brackets hivyo. But then it will tell you that the homepage method is not defined. So how do we do it? We import it. You just bring your cursor like juu hapa hivyo, then you'll have these options, the view problem and the quick fix. So when you click on quick fix, itakusuggestia we import. So this is it, import library package, design layout, homepage.dat. So I'll click on that. you'll see it will import this file automatically. This is the file, the homepage.dat, but sasa import hapa kwa main.dat because of this, and it needs this const, so I'll just have const hapa, and yeah, it's happy now. Hivo. So when I save this, you are supposed to see an empty fold, and then we'll start now working on our homepage.dat file. Tumemalizana na main.dat because we have called that homepage class hapa for home, so we'll just work on it direct. Yeah, I hope no question up to that point. Kabla to start the order of today's business. Yeah, so the first thing, this is an empty scaffold. It's usually this white or pinkish thing that you see, and we have this little debug symbol over here, and yeah, I think we should remove it. So this is how we do it. Unakuja hapa kwa main.dat. Inside where you have the material app, we said this is the root of our application, like the entry point. Material gives us the themes, the home, then inatupea the title of our application, the routes and everything. So there is a property called debug, this banner, debug show check mode banner, and it accepts a bool. So it can be either true, like it's there, or false, it's not there. So we'll just pass in false. It's true by default. Like, ukikuja hapa hover over it, you'll see that it's always true. So you have to provide the false yourself. Now when I save this, nice, it disappears. So we just have this blank thing to deal with. Okay. Right. So I'll check in the charts real quick. Okay. Yeah. So I think we are together up to that point. Yeah. So we have a blank scaffold, and we want to lead. We want it to lead to something like this. This screen. This is a screen that you want to build. How do we approach it? First of all, you can see there is no default app bar. Ile Flutter, the default one. We just have like the body, and then we have the navigation bar, and then now we have this column which has these rows of items down the column. So inside the scaffold, we have the body. Of course, we have the body there, and then we have the bottom navigation bar. So we'll first create the bottom navigation bar. So I'll just delete the body first. Tuanze na bottom navigation bar, and then it accepts this bottom navigation bar widget, which is by default like the material pack. So hii iko hapa, and you can see there is an error. It's saying it needs these items. So items are required. So you just come inside the bottom navigation bar and pass in the items. What are these items? So if you see the type, you just hover again over it. These are list of bottom navigation items. So as you can see, also it's a list, like there are these square brackets. So inside it, we pass these bottom navigation bar items, So that is one. And then this requires some icon and some text under it, as you can see in our design. Where is this? Hapa kuna this icon, kuna the home. So in a bottom navigation bar, this text is called a label. It is a label for the icon, like for this page that you are in. So I'll pass icon. We have the icon, this one as a widget icon. Which icon do I pass? Icons the home. So again, this icons class is a material package. Okay, so tuko hapa kuna icon pass this icon, icons.home, and then I have a comma, and we have label. Label is a string. This is home. Hivo. Okay, and you not create one. If you remember from the last class, you said that they must be greater than 2. So I'll just have a comma at the end, and then I'll copy all of it and paste it how many times? 4, I believe. Yeah, there are four items. That is the home, chat, favorite, and profile. So I'll first save this. Okay, it's there. Ni vile they are whitish. They are kind of whitish. So we'll decorate them upper juu first, so that we'll just see them as we change. So these properties to decorate the items hapa, that is the selected and the unselected. That is the page yenye the user ako, it is the selected. So we'll have the selected item color. We'll give colors dot black. Hivyo. Then we have the unselected. So unselected item color hapo. We'll give colors dot something like grayish. Is it gray? Let's see. Yeah. So this black, that is the selected page, and then the unselected ones are something like grayish. Yeah. So I'll save this. And, nice. We have this home. Then we have these other ones that are gray, but zote si home. So we'll change this very quick. I just copied these and pasted hapa. Kuna chat, favorite, and profile. So kuna chat, icons.chat, icons.favorite, and then we have icons. The other one was profile, something like person, a person icon. Yeah. So all of these icons are coming from the Flutter's material package. Then the labels also, we have the chart, then we have favorites, here, and then we have the settings, sama profile. Nice. So if I save these icons, zimetokea hapa, but there are no labels. The labels are label. So we'll have this property called unselected label style. Okay, no, we'll have this show unselected labels. Simple. This show unselected labels is a bool. Again, it's true or false. And I presume the default one is false. That's why hazionyeshi. So we'll have them as true. And yeah, you can see. You can now see the chart favorites, the profile. And let's go with the design. And yeah, we have home, charts, and favorite. Don't worry about the icons. Like these ones are customized. So if you have this design, you will to get the exact icons. But for now, let's just use these built-in icons, like from the Flutter's package. Yeah. Okay, so this one is complaining here because sijaweka const hapo, and I think we are now happy with the bar. Yeah, let's move now up to the body. Here. So inside the body, so these were like the main contents of this screen are, and we said that this is a big, it's like a big column with these items because they are arranged from top to bottom. Then we have divided it into these sections. That is, let's say this is our custom app bar. We have the search area. We have the what do we call this? Like the horizontal list. Then we have these headings hapa, and we'll have these vertical list over here. So let's do that in the code. So we have the first or the topmost widget will be the column. And then, okay, use const. Okay. What I'll do, I'll just ignore this const thing because it will inconvenience us. So I'll just ignore it for the whole file. Yeah, isitusumbue. But don't do this like if your app is to go to production. Like this is just for purposes of education. Like inatusumbua hapa these blue squiggly lines. Okay, but in your real app, you should always have this const in your widgets. Okay, so inside the column, we have how many items zenye tumesema. So the first item that we have is this custom app, and we will divide it with comments. So we have this custom app bar. code yake itakuja hapo chini. And then we have this, the next thing will be the search area, I believe. So we have the search bar plus the button. Is a plus the button, sorry. And then so code yake nayo itakuja hapo. The third thing we have is the horizontal list. I'm sorry, horizontal list hapo. Code yake nayo itakuja hapo. And then we have this popular head, something like that. This one, yenye this horizontal list, this heading over here, the popular and the CMO. So the popular heading, code yake itakuja hapa. Then lastly, we'll have a vertical list. Vertical list hapo. Okay. And yeah, so let's start with the custom app bar. I forgot this. So this is a custom app bar. And yeah, so let's look at the design again. Like we understand what is a custom app bar. Okay, so what is this? So this is how you approach like creating this app bar. You just ask yourself, what is the orientation of these items inside this app bar? You can see they are horizontal. Like you have these over here, in line with this, but in the horizontal direction. So what widget will you use there? You will use a row. Okay, so you'll have this row. How? Then of course the row requires the children. Hivo. And yeah, there is something over here that is off. Inasema nini? Too many positional. Oh yeah. I forgot something. The column also requires children. Children was a list, and this is fonts literals. Let me know this for the whole file. So all of these are the children of our column. So I'll just cut and paste them hapa juu. Hivo. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start with the custom app. So we have said this is a row, and a row requires children ndani yake, which is a list of widgets basically. Yeah, this is just a list of widgets. And when you look at our row, it has how many widgets? We have this container over here with an icon. We have this text, this row of this small row inside. That is the icon and the text. And then we have this container at the far end. Okay, so we'll have this in comments again. We have the menu icon at one end. Then in the middle we have a small row. We have a row of icon plus the name. Let's say the city name. Sorry. And then at the far end we have the notifications, sorry, icon. Hivo. So yeah, let's create these widgets. So the first one is, as you can see, there is something over here. I don't know if I can zoom in better, but if you zoom in, you'll notice that there is a whitish color container in your here icon. Like this is the background of this scaffold is grayish, and then this is pure white. The one that has this grayish icon. So we'll create this small container first. It will be a container, and then for the container, the child will be the icon now. This is it, the icon. And we have the icons dot menu. Say the menu icon over there. It's saying unnecessary container, but it's not unnecessary because we have to provide the color. Yeah, and we have said colors dot white. It's for that container, but this one is kind of blackish. Let's see. Yeah, it's gray, something like gray, but the background over here is white. So this is white. We'll first make it blue. Let's just make it blue dot one, like where it will appear. So if I save this, something funny will appear. So if you can see like above my hapa kwa date yangu kuna this container and the menu icon is inside, but it's at the top left corner of this scaffold. But I don't want it there. Like I don't want this row hapa. I just want it somewhere like here. So how do I push it down? First of all, if you don't want your app to exceed like this status bar of your, you wrap the scaffold with a widget called safe area. So I'll just click on the scaffold and then this little bulb, then wrap with widget, and the widget is safe area. It's provided. So if I save this, first of all, my app will not exceed this bar, the status bar of my phone. But it will start hapa. The same thing that you can observe from our design is that there is this space like all through our body, that is on this side, and at the top. And that space is called padding. And we will have to provide it like at the topmost widget that we have, that is the column. So we'll wrap this column with a padding widget, Evo, and we have these edges, edge insert dot all 8. Let's do okay. Essentially, acha tuangalie design kwanza. The padding is on this flank and on this flank. Huku chini hakuna padding and huku juu pia hakuna padding. So instead of padding dot all, we'll do something called padding dot symmetric. I mean, and what symmetric does is that it gives space on either the horizontal direct ama the vertical, instead of having padding dot all, whereby we give padding in all directions. So I'll just give the horizontal padding ya huku na huku on the both the left and the right. So we'll have a symmetric horizontal, that is 20. We'll give a space of 20 pixels huku na huku. So nikisave here, you'll see this one has moved a little bit, like a distance of something like 20 on the left. The second thing that we want to do is we have this pushed down a little bit. Okay, and how do we do that? Inside our column, we'll provide a widget called a sized box. See hapo, but rather above the custom app. A sized box is like an empty container that occupies some space, and then like it appears as if we are giving these widgets some space between them. So we use a sized box to separate widgets, like maybe along the column, along a row. So if you're using a column, you'll give, let's say, a height of 100 hivyo. Then nikisave hii, you'll see like there is this 100 space yenye imekuja hapa, a space of approximately 100 pixels hapa juu yenye imekuja hapo. And let's our design, it's not that big, so we'll just use it to something like 50 hivyo. And yeah, this kind of resembles that. And then our custom app bar is missing something. Let's see what is missing in our app bar. We have okay, I think it's okay. We'll now go to customizing this widget. So tunataka hii yenye iko hapa ifanane hapa. So what can you see, like what are the differences? First of all, the background color is not blue, it's white. We'll change that. But on the boundaries of this icon, there is some space from the inside of this container. And so we want to push this icon in the middle, and then we will have space around it. So how do we do that? So inside this row, we have this container that is blue and has this icons.menu. So for the container, we'll give a property called padding. And padding is the one that is responsible for providing in space that separate the contents of a container to its boundaries. Okay, so padding is the spacing from the inside of that container. And we'll do edge inserts edge insets dot all because we want it in all the directions. And let's do 5. Okay, and we'll see how it will appear. Nice. So this is it. So unaona imepush this icon some 5 pixels around it. And then the next thing is giving this color white. So we'll just change this to white. Okay, and then because the scaffold's background is white, we'll just change the scaffold's background color. So inside the scaffold kabla ya body, you can have this background color property, and I will do some colors dot gray. Okay, and we'll do some. You'll have these square brackets, and then you lighten up this little bit. So there is gray 100. This will be sufficient. Let's see. Let's do colors gray 200. So if I save this, you'll see that this one has changed to some light grayish, similar to this. Hii yenye uko nayo hapa. And then this white container is now visible, is now kind of visible. Okay, you cannot see it like directly, but it's there. Like you can notice there is a little difference from the container to the scaffold's background. And then now the final thing you want to do is make these edges a little bit curved of this container. Yeah. So I'll first change this to blue, ndo muone like the effect vizuri. So nikisave, unaona hii. So these are these sharp edges ndo tunataka ku trim. A container has something called a decoration. Sorry, not the debug print, but rather the decoration. And it takes in the box decoration widget. Hapo. And then inside this is where now we'll give the this border radius. It's called a border radius. Sorry, it should be inside this. So click enter, then the border radius. The radius property, and then you give it as border radius dot circular. Hivo, and then you input the radius. Let's do 5. Okay. So when I save this, there'll be this error, and I did this purposely to illustrate something. So when you have this decoration, you have the decoration, and then you have the color at the same. It is wrong. Like when you can read this, it says you cannot provide both a color and a decoration to a container. So if you provide, if you want to provide a color when you have decoration, this color has to go inside the decoration. So please take note of that. So I'll just cut it. Then huku mwisho, after the border radius, hapa, I'll first have a comma, and then yeah, this one formats correctly. So before the border radius, I'll just paste in the color. So if you have the color, if you want to decorate a container with a color and also the box decoration at the same time, the color should come inside the box decoration. But if you don't want any decoration, like the border radius, you just want your container with some color, like direct, unaweza ipeana tu hapo juu, like alongside other properties like the padding, margin, then the color. But you have the decoration has to go, I mean the color has to go inside the decoration. So I'll save this and restart real quick. Yeah, so let's see. So if you can see, the edges are a bit rounded. That's what we wanted. And then the final thing, I think we are done. Let's look at the design tenor. Yeah, we are done with that icon. For this other icon, I think I'll just copy this and change the icon behind it. So don't worry about that. We can revert the color back to white, plain white. Then when I save this, you'll see this is nice and easy. Okay. For the other notifications icon, I'll copy this and I'll come here and paste. There is a missing comma somewhere. Hivo. And yeah, when I save this, this one will appear immediately hapa. And then I'll first change this icon to icons.notifications. I believe there is a notifications icon by the built-in Flutter package. Yeah, nice and easy. So these two items are appearing next to each other in this horizontal row, but we want them to be far, like this one to be on this end and the other one to be on the other end. And a row has something called main axis alignment. And we have all these properties. Main axis alignment dot center, if you want them at the center. We want space between. You can have them at the start, which is because the main axis alignment of a row is from left to right. Like if you have a row hapa, the items will start the left hapa, the next item hapo, going down to the right, but they will be stuck to each other. So if you want these items to be like spread out, all this space we want it in between these items. So this one will be up to the farthest end, and then the space at the middle, and then this one at the start. So we'll use this space between property. So we have main axis alignment dot space between. The main axis alignment of a column is from top to bottom. This is the main axis of a column. So if you want to align items in a column, like maybe at the center upper, you use main axis alignment dot center. That is inside a column. This is the main axis of a column. But for a row, because we move from left to right, the main axis is this one, the horizontal direction. Okay. Yeah. So if I save this, one item gets pushed huku and another one huku. And yeah, we are now nearing our design. So the next thing that we have is this text. And as you can see, this is not just single text. Kuna some icon, then there is this text, and then there is this another one. That is the city name maybe, and the country. So very quickly, we'll have this row. It will be a row inside this major row again. So this is how we nest rows and columns to design layouts in Flutter. And okay, I'm sorry for this. He may disconnect. I don't know. Let me run the app again. And yeah, so I was saying that if you have a design that nests rows inside rows and columns inside columns, or maybe a row inside a column, that is how we write them to create complex layouts in Flutter. So whatever we have over here is a row, but it is inside this bigger row. And this row is inside this bigger column, the one that has everything. Okay. Yeah, so that's how we combine rows and columns to create layouts in Flutter. So this row hapa ndani iko na children. And what are the children? First of all, we have that is, I'll just go direct with the icon. Icons.location. I think it's location on. There is a widget called location. Yeah, outlined. Location on outlined. It resembles this one. Tuko nayo hapa. And then we have this text, and then we have this text. All of them in a row. So we'll have this hapa. I want to bring this at the center. Then, so we have the icons, and then we have the text. That is California. And then we have another text. Let me accept this install. So you have a comma and another text that is US. Hivyo. Okay. So acha maliza kuinstall, and then we'll refresh and see the changes. So this row is this one here, the middle one, the small row, but it is inside this row, and you gonna the icon, the row, and the another icon. So I have labeled them out these comments. So you have the menu icon inside the row, that is the menu icon, the row, and then the notifications icon inside this container. So what's wrong with this? User restricted install. Okay, let me debug again. Okay, so I think when we decorate this we'll be done with the custom app bar, and we'll move on to the search area. Remember, we are inside this row, the custom bar row. So we'll go to where it is ending hapa. And remember, we had already given a layout. So we'll just move into the search. And then we move into list, and then the copy heading to Malizena vertical list. I'll try to move a little bit faster, but I hope like this image is coming out, whereby we are sitting in rows. When you look at this design, you have this row again, like this is like a small row, but it is inside this row, and this row together with this row and this and this and this, they form up this wall column inside the body. Yeah, so this one is done, and you can see our text is over here, and what's left is to decorate these texts. Okay. Yeah, so first of all we'll to the utakuja hapa juu mahali kuna this icon is okay, this is okay, then we have this icon hapa. The color is something like orange, and then this is bold, and then this is normal, and also they are a bit bigger. So we'll do all those decorations hapa. So we'll start with the icon. So this is how we decorate an icon. So utakuja hapa mwisho, after you have given which icon you want, you put a comma, and then you have the color. Then from the class you have colors dot something like orange, hivyo. And then you have this trailing comma. So when I save, itakuja hapa chini. So these commas help with arranging, like formatting your code such that it is easier to add some more other properties per widget. Okay, so it's advisable to have these commas. Yeah, this has changed to orange, and then we have this. We now want to decorate the text. I'll bring it hapa katikati, and then this is how we do it. So at the end, mali umemaliza kupeana your string, sorry, hapa you have a comma, and then you type in style. Then we'll have text style. I'm moving slow hapa because whatever I'll be doing down will just be a repetition of all this. Okay. Yeah, so we have the style. We have this text style widget, and it has properties that style this particular text yenye tuko nayo hapa, and one of them is color. The color, I think it's already black. We'll have this font weight. Font weight is whether the color is bold or normal. So we have bold, normal, this. Ours is bold, so I'll just have bold, and then I'll have comma again. And then we have the font size. Font size, hivyo. And let's do something like 15. Okay, then I'll have a comma, and then so nikisave unaona inakuja chini ya hii these properties. So it's easier to like follow along the decorations of a specific widget. Okay, so you can see our text imekuja black, I mean bold, and size 15. The last one is this US. I think this is okay. Kuna comma we missed mahali. Yeah, I think we are done with this app bar. So far, any questions? Because hebu acha tu compare kwanza. Sorry, I want us to look this one tuone kama we are yeah, I think we are on the right track. Ni vile hii nimezoom out kiasi, so it's a bit this one is a bit bigger than this, but if you scale this down, it will bring about something like this. And yeah, we are done with our custom app bar. I'll check in the chat section real quick. I can see hey, kindly send me the okay, thank you. Here you are kind of faster. Okay, let me, this looks similar to CSS. Yeah. If you've done some CSS, I think the Flutter developers kind of borrowed, like the creators of Flutter kind of borrowed some concepts from CSS. There are some icons when you enter there is an error. Yeah, because not all icons are in the Flutter material package. Some icons are not there. You have to like pass them here yourself, like small PNGs, like images. Like you have them in your assets and then you pass them here. Of course, Flutter cannot create icons for all your use cases. Maybe you want something like that is custom to you, so you'll have to pass it here. But they already know, like they are those like the common icons zenye zinatumikanga in most apps, like this home, these favorites, the person icon, the bell, like hizi ni icons kwa like common kwa most applications, and you'll probably need them. That's why they have them for you already pre-built in the material package. But others like these ones, for example, ukiangalia hizi hii home icon haiko same na hii yenye tumetumia hapa, the material. You can see this is sharp, this is like kind of boring, but this one matches your specific use case for your home application. So you have to pass this one as a custom image in your app bar. But yeah, the more you do this, like the more you will be able to understand how to like have your own widgets. But for now, I decided that we'll just use these ones, the built-in widgets. Unaona, like they are kind of matching. Okay. Yeah. Maybe later you can teach how to pass those. Yeah, sure. We'll do that. Like we'll do a lot of UIs. Yeah. Should I choose Flutter from JS? Okay, this is a tricky one, and I'll say it depends. It depends on like what were you doing like JS for. If you are like deep into JS and you're comfortable with switching to Flutter, the better. But come on, learn JS, I would advise you just stick fast to JS, understand it, like usi mix concepts because you might get lost in the middle. Then if you are pretty confident with JS, unaweza move on to Flutter. Ama kama ni Flutter you are interested with it, you can start with it and then stick to it, and then until ile point you are feeling like confident with Flutter, you can choose another stack. Your screen is frozen. I don't know. Can everyone see my screen?
Victor, your screen is okay.
Screen yangu inaonekana, Alex?
Yeah, the screen is okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Amesema all is good. Yeah. So from here, this is how now we'll do it. Okay. Something that I wanted to show real quick is how we can now modularize our widgets such that it will be easy to kind of work with a large code base. Okay. Let's say we have this homepage as an example. I'll first zoom out. Don't worry about what you'll see because I'll not be coding anything. So let me have this as 15. You'll see like the whole thing. Okay, so ukiangalia hapa, this is our custom app bar, mahali tulikomentia all the code, and we have this row, the parent row here, that runs down up to here, and then we'll have the search bar button hapa and all these other widgets. Now imagine we are creating different rows page. You can imagine how big this file can, okay, such that when you have to modify like the color of this icon ikiwa kwa row yenye iko hapa, you'll have to like scroll and scroll. Maybe there are no comments maybe in that code base, and it can be a bit hectic. Okay. What I want to demonstrate now is how we can separate this bunch of codes into smaller workable widgets zenye itakuwa easier ku either customize, change, add or do some operations on that code, and it will be also easier for readability of your code because you cannot have all this code in one page. Like hatuwezi kuja tukodie search bar yetu hapa, list hapa, hii file itakuwa kubwa. So the first thing how you approach this is maybe having a widgets folder. So inside I'll create a small a folder. It cannot be really small. I'll call it widgets and I'll click on enter. Then I'll create files for these major widgets, like zenye tuko nazo in our homepage. That is these ones that broken down into like this column. So first of all, and the one that we have created is the app bar. So we assume this is our custom app bar. So I'll create a widget for, and this is how we'll do it. So first of all, we will have a new file inside the widgets folder called custom underscore app bar hivo dot dat. Okay, and we want this whole custom app bar as one widget. Okay, so first of all, as usual, import material, then create a stateless widget. STLS is the shortcut, and you click on that, and then the naming is custom with capital C, custom app bar, hivyo tu venye like the way that you want it to appear like in your homepage. You have custom app bar, and yeah, then what will it return? It will not return this placeholder, so uta delete here. Then hapa kwa your homepage, you'll come to where this custom app bar starts, that is, or where this row is. So I'll select this code hadi mahali row inaishia, like this, nice and easy. Then I'll cut it, Control X. So if I cut this, you'll see our blueprint and you'll go to create, that is the custom app bar, search bar, list, and the heading in this. Then all the code yenye tulikuwa tumeandika hapa, the row, like yenye the one that pertains this custom app bar, I'll paste it here in our newly created custom app bar widget. Okay, and then okay, acha tuweke const huko, so I'll just say add const everywhere. Okay, then I'll save that. Nikisave, this one will disappear. Why? Simple. Hakuna mali code hiyo in exist in our homepage, and so far our homepage doesn't know about the other code may transfer huko. So how do we do the calling of that code in our homepage? So it's simple. The same way we did with the homepage file hapa. After to create your homepage, tuliita hapa kwa home. Okay, so we'll do the same to our custom app bar. So I'll just copy this, the name, and paste it hapa hivo, and then of course it's a widget function, so I'll have this parenthesis, and yeah, so inasema hii function haiko defined anywhere in this file. Again, we import it, so I'll bring my cursor over this, then itanitolea hizi options, so I click on quick fix and import. Simple. So hapa juu unaona ime import your file. Now when I save, nice. Okay, we can see our app bar iko hapa, but now compared to whatever we had hapa kwa home, you can see home is now cleaner. Like it's easier to read this, and you know this is the custom app bar. These are custom widgets, and you may create in another file. Okay, and when you come to this, you'll know that this is a code yenye inahusu hii custom app bar pekee. Okay, yeah, so and then you'll create custom icons for these other layouts, and now it will be easier when someone comes to your homepage that this is a custom app bar, code yake this widget. How do I move from this to this? So okay, assuming this is closed, na juu hii code ya hii iko wapi, like you don't know where that file is stored. Because we imported it here, just bring your cursor over this hapa juu, and then click on control kwa keyboard yako. Ukifinya control, this one will turn to blue, and blue underlined, like you'll see it will turn to blue, and then itakwambia hapa hiyo file iko wapi. It is the design layouts, then the widgets folder, the custom app bar.dat. So if you want to go to this, you'll just click on it while still holding the control button. So nikiachilia control inarudi, but nikifinya control it brings this blue thing. So nikiclick, okay, you can see imenileta hapa kwa where this file is situated. Now from here I can start working on either the menu icon kama ndiko na shida, or I want to make changes, and yeah, so that is how we break down big widgets into smaller workable widgets. and to make our code more readable, more maintainable, and easier to navigate through. Yeah, so the next thing that we'll create very quickly is this search container. I hope there is no up to that point. Yeah, well, please try not to say comments in your please try not to say comments in your language. Okay, sorry, I'll try and use English. My screen is okay. Okay, yeah, thank you. So what we are saying is now we are moving to this container over here, and that is the search bar plus the button. So how do we approach this? Let's look at it again. Yeah, let's look at it. So what does it contain? We have this container over here, the whitish, and the one that has a whitish background, and then we have this button, the black button, and they are in a row. Like this is one item, and then this is another item, but they are horizontally aligned. Then inside this container, we have another row of 3 items. That is this icon, this text, and this orange icon over here. So yeah, let's go back to our code and do that. So first of all, we have the row, that is the general one, the bigger one, that is. And this needs a comma over here. And then I'll make my screen bigger again, not the extensions, but rather the settings. And I'll turn this back to 23 so that you'll be able to see. Okay, we have a row, and we have 2 items. The first one is the container, and the second one is the icon. Okay, so let's create the container real quick. We have the container, sorry, container, yeah. And I'm sorry, I forgot something here. I forgot to provide the children party. Yeah, all should have been inside the children. So we have now the first container, and then the icon in a container, basically. Okay, for the first container, we'll have it like that. And then, so what does it have? So first of all, when you look at it, okay, the color was white. So we have the decoration, because apart from the color, we'll have other decorations. So remember we said, if you have the color and the decoration, you would rather have the color inside that decoration widget. So I'll pass in the decoration, then we'll start with the color. That will be colors.white. I'm moving in real here because now you the whole thing. Okay, we have this white, and then let's look again. The child is a row of 3 things, so we'll have that row. Child is a row. I'll click on the row, and then we have the children of that row are 3. That is the icon. So we have the icon, and it's icons dot search. Then we'll have a comma, and then the second thing is text, and then the third thing is another icon. So we have the text. The text is a string saying search draw. Okay, then we'll have another icon, and then the icon is icons dot let's say mic. Is there a built-in mic? Yeah, mic. Nice and easy. I'll have a comma. Let me save this, and we'll see where this container will appear. So okay, so this is our container over here. It is this one. We want it to be like this. Okay, so let's give it a little bit of decoration. So we want some space all around this, and we said what we use to give space inside a container, you use the padding. Okay, and if you look at this, the padding over here, like the horizontal padding is a bit greater than vertical. So this is a small distance, but from here, this is a big one, like equally on the right. So we'll again use edge insets dot symmetric, so that will provide the horizontal and the vertical. That is the top, bottom, and the left, right. So for the horizontal, we'll have 20, and for the vertical, we'll have something like 5. Sorry, my screen just went off. Okay, so when I save this, you'll see there'll be some 20 space over here, and then we have some 5 on the top and on the bottom. That is the vertical padding. And we want to separate, first of all, this custom app bar from this search area. So how do we do that? Again, we use a size box. So below where we have our custom app bar, we have a size box of height, let's say 20, like that. So when I save this, you'll see this space will appear over here. And yeah, we can continue decorating our container. Another thing about our container is the border radius, that is the edges over here. So we'll have the border radius property, and it will be border radius dot circular. And the radius, let's say 10. When I save this, yeah, you'll see they may bend a little bit. I'll have a comma here so that I'll push this to the next line. And again, let's see this row. Let's look at this row now. These items are not all from the start. So we have the main axis alignment, and I will use space between again, so that this item will be on the far end, and these are the middle, and then these are at the start. We'll use space between. So when I save this, nothing happens. Okay, and this is the reason. You see, this container, we have not given it any width. We have just made some items in it, that is this row. So this container goes up to where the contents end. So even if you space between items here, this container doesn't have this space. Okay, it just have the space of its content. So how do we make this container take the whole of the horizontal space, so that we see that space between effect? So the answer is simple. So inside this row, you wrap your container with a widget called expanded. Okay, real quick, the expanded widget. Okay, and when I save this, you'll see this will expand to the whole horizontal direction, and now you can see the space between aspects of our widgets. Okay, yeah, so that is nice. Remember, there was a filter button over here. So after this container, we'll have this icon. First of all, it's a container, and then there is this comma that is here, and my phone just disconnected again. So I'll just have to run this again. So as it is running with this container, and the child is the icon. Oh my God, we are running out of time, but let me try to make this as fast but as understandable as it can be. So inside this container, we have this icon and then some padding all through, and that's what I will do. So I'll have the icon, that is icons dot, let's say, filter, nice. Then for the container, we'll give the padding, edge insets all. Definitely this is supposed to be all. Let's do something like 8. Okay, yeah, and the container is also black and rounded, so we'll just use the decoration property. Remember, we said the box decoration is where we'll have our color, and inside this we'll have our colors dot black, and we give the sorry, we were here. We give the rounded by border radius. Border radius as border radius dot circular with a radius of 8. Okay, so I'll run this again. Hopefully this time it runs. Yeah. So we anticipate that is somewhere here. Then we'll give some margin for this container on the right, so that they will not be attached. I mean, this container will not be attached to the icon. As you can see in our design over here, there is space. Okay, wonderful. So let's wait for this to build. Next on, we'll move to this horizontal list very quickly. So if anyone has a question, meanwhile, you can be dropped in the chat section, and we'll look at it. So this one has finished compiling. It's now installing. Yeah. Let's wait and see. Okay. It's uninstalling the older version. Nice. It's done. So I'll just click on this, then install. So from here, there now we will have the real deal, because we'll have these images, and then this column over here with two text, and we have this icon. And I think, yeah. So you can see here, our container is here, but the icon is not visible because it's also black by default, like all icons, as you can see. So we'll have to decorate the icon. So unakuja hapa, you'll come here to this icons.filter, then have a comma and color. Color will be colors.white. Nice and easy. When I save this, okay, this one will appear, but not the this is not the icon that we wanted. Filter, I thought it will. Okay, there's something called a filter list, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think this one will come close to whatever we want. Yeah, not bad. This is not bad, actually. Okay, so the next thing that we have is what we want to make these ones a little bit bigger. So we'll have let's make this padding. Okay, this is the horizontal padding. The vertical padding was 5. Let's do 15. Yeah, I think this is better. It looks more realistic to compared to our design. Yeah, so 15 will do, and then we want this space over here, like we said, but I think 15 is a little bit bigger. Let's do 10. Yeah, that's reasonable. So we want this margin on the right only. So inside this container also you have the margin property. So the difference between the margin and the padding is that the padding gives space between the borders of a container and its content, like this space. So if you say the horizontal 20, you say that this side and this side there'll be a space of 20. If you say the vertical 5, you can have edge insets dot all to give padding all around. But for the margin, it gives some space between the container itself and the neighboring widgets. In our case, we want to have some margin here on the right of this widget. So we'll have the margin that is edge insets dot only. We have this only. Now instead of all, we have only, and only is in the left, the top, the right, and the bottom. So in our case, it's the right. We'll have right 20. And when I save this, hopefully, okay, let me just decline this for now. So you can see this 20 space provided over here. And let's confirm with our design. And, I think it is a little bit bigger. Let's use 10. Okay, so when I save this, and nice, you can see now at least it looks realistic to our design. Another thing is that this one is color yellow or orange. So let's have these as colors dot orange. That is from the design. Then I'll have a comma at the end. And, yeah. Let's see. So let's bring this down here. I think so far so good. The search, the text, the white, the icons, and this search. Although the icon does not resemble this, but we have said that for now we'll just use the built-in icons by the material package. We'll have you can have your custom icons later. Okay. So we also now want to separate this search area into one widget that you can pass in our homepage. So I'll have inside the widgets folder, I'll create a search.dat file very quickly. Then the order is the same. We import material, then stls for a stateless widget. We'll call it search area, just direct as that. We'll delete this and come back to the home page. We'll look at where it starts. It starts here, so this is a whole row. So I'll just copy this to this. I'll cut actually. Then I'll provide here. Bro, I've not cut. Okay, what's happening? Do this. So I'll cut this. Then I'll paste it over here. Very quick. So when I save this one is expected to disappear. I have this const, all of them. Then I copy the name. I'll back to my home page and paste them over here. Simple. Okay. Then I'll import. Don't forget to import. Otherwise, nothing will work. Okay. So when I save this, our search bar is back. But now in our page, we can have these custom widgets that you can easily like tell what is going on per each widget. Then I'll have a size box of 20 pixels again, copy and paste, then I'll save. So there is a space here, only that there is no widget here that you can see this sized box. But when you start creating widgets, we'll see them here. So I want very quickly to go through this design because I can see our time is a little bit gone. So what is this? We have an image. We have this, first of all, we have this container with these rounded edges. Then we have its image. Then at the bottom, we have this kind of column. First of all, it's a row because we have this column and this icon. They are horizontal to each other. When you come to this is a column of two text. One is bold and another one is like plain text. But all of this is in a moving horizontal direction. So what widget do you use here? We use a widget called a list view. Then we set its axis to horizontal. Axis is the direction that is scrolling through. By default, you expect a list to go up, like the vertical direction. In our case, we want it to go the horizontal direction. So how do we go about that? So we'll come here to the horizontal list area. And then we'll provide, first of all, the size box, that is the bounds of where you want these this horizontal list to extend up to, like horizontally. Let me do this, the size box. And then in the size box, we have now our child. Size box also takes child. The first and the most important thing we wanted is the height. Then now the child will have this list view, like that. Okay. And among the properties of this list view, we have the scroll direction. Scroll direction. We'll have axis but horizontal. So you can see the options were two. We have the vertical or horizontal. Then let me format this. Then a list view takes in children. Otherwise, what will it be showing if it will not be some things like 1, 2, 3 things? So we'll have these children over here. And when you look at our design, we have this container. So what we'll do, we'll just design one container, how it looks, and then we'll reuse it like for all of these tiles. And as you can see, we said this as an image, some text, and some address, and this icon. With me, I have these, okay, images of 3 houses. Where are they? Yeah, they're here. So these are the 3 house images that you are going to use. And now, here is now where I want you to pay attention to how we add assets to our Flutter application. So first of all, you have to stop your running application, because we are going to interfere with this. I mean, we are going to tamper with this pubspec.yaml or YAML file. And this is what gives some blue of what is in our application. That is a catalog of all the packages, all the dependencies, the environment that you're running, the version of your application, and all of these things. That is now the assets, the fonts over here. You can scroll up chini. And yeah, so this is a file that gives all those configurations there, pubspec.yaml. And because you want to add images in your app, you have to register them with the pubspec.yaml. And how do we do it? So first of all, you'll come and close all the folders in your application. So I'll just close them up. Then outside, you just tap outside this file structure, and then click on create new folder. You'll name this folder assets, like that. Click on enter. Then inside the assets folder is where now we'll have our respective folders. You can have the images folder like that. You can have the icons. If your app uses icons, you can have the icons folder. Inside the assets is also we have the fonts. If your app needs some audio files and all those assets, so you include them here. So in my case, I've just created the icons and images folder just to show you how it goes. But we'll be using images folder for now. So I'll copy 3 images inside this images folder. So I'll go to the desktop, open this in my file editor, go to the houses and copy. I have house 1, house 2, and house 3. Then I'll go back to the desktop to my design layouts, and I'll see this assets folder that I have created, and these 2 folders. I'll click on the image, and then I'll paste my houses over there. And when you click on this now in your VS Code, you'll see the 3 files. So that is step number 1. You add the files in your project that is inside the assets folder, and maybe you can have the images folder to categorize what kind of assets. You can rather have them inside the folder directly, but for the case of quality, we just have different assets categories folders. Okay, so yeah, now you have them in your file. What is the next thing to do? You come here, Malikuna, these assets, you uncomment this. So you just select all of it and control / that is, you uncomment them. Make sure that this asset letter A starts immediately, like directly below this uses material design through line hapa. So this U and this A must align, because something about this pubspec file is that if you miss some spacing, let's say you have this starting hapo, you'll have a lot of trouble with it. So it's advisable to be a little bit careful when you're dealing with this configurations file. So you have this assets property, and what you want to pass is the path of the assets that you are registering in your application. In our case, it is the assets folder. So I'll just type in this. So I'll delete this. Then I'll have the whole path, that is assets / images, and then just a slash. So by leaving this as a slash, you are basically saying you want this pubspec YAML to register all the files, I mean, inside this images folder, okay? Otherwise, you'll just have to write individually each of the files, that is house1.jpg, and then you copy this and paste it over here, over there. You have house2, and then house3, you know, like that. Because they are all inside one folder, you just have to like leave this over here as a hanging / line, hivyo like assets/images, like that. And then that is the second step. So you have to make sure that you have registered your images with pubspec.yaml. Otherwise, when you use them in your application, it will bring up some unnecessary errors like found. Okay, now you close you can just close down everything, and we'll navigate now to our homepage where we want to build that item app, and I will run the app. First of all, let me comment this says box because it's empty, and it might bring out some issues when you have empty children over here. So I hope that process is well understood. First of all, you have to stop a running application such that, so that it will register the assets on the next build. Then you have your assets inside the assets folder. Then the third thing is you register them with the pubspec. So you scroll to the assets, you uncomment this line, and then you specify the path to where those items are. Nice and easy. Now the third, the fourth and the final step is using now your assets inside your application, and that's what we are going to do right about now. Okay. So this one has to uninstall the other debug app that it had installed so that it will install a uninstalling the old version. So meanwhile, we can be looking at this design. So how will we go about this? So we'll have a banner, then we'll decorate it. That is, we'll have this border radius, and then we'll have the decoration image. You can see my app is already done. We'll have a column as a child with these two texts. And then the main axis alignment of this column will be end. Remember, we said the main axis of a column is from top to bottom. So this will be end. And then we'll have this icon over here. So we'll wrap this column with a row so that we will have this icon side by side with the column. And yeah, so let's do that in code. So first of all, I'll comment this one back. So we had this says box. This one will tell us how high, or the distance that will be covered from here to here, like where this horizontally starts to where it ends. Let's have this as what, 250, I think. Then the direction is horizontal. Okay. Then now we'll have the children. So we'll just design one child and then we'll copy it through. Okay, not copying as such, but reusing it. Okay, so we have our container. Let's move in real quick over here. So with the container, we'll go direct to the decoration, first of all. And then the decoration, box decoration. And the first thing is, we'll not give the color because as you can see, our container doesn't have any color, it's just the image. So we'll just give in this image. So a container has an image property which is in the decoration image widget. And under the image, you have to specify the path. I think, sorry, this is bad. I have just disconnected my phone, so let me connect it back. Yeah, I think I'll comment all of this because we are not done building and it cannot run with any error. Then I'll run. Yeah. I'm really sorry for that. So this is where now we'll have this image, the path. We'll now see how we'll pass this path of a specific image in the decoration image. Okay. Okay. And this decoration image, they are of different types. They are the asset images. Those are images that you add to your application like we have done manually. And there can also be network images. That is when you want those images to load from a URL. And instead of the path here, you just specify the URL. But in our case, we want these asset images, so we'll just give the asset image direct. Okay, so how have you commanded the sized box? By commanded, I presume you mean, okay, I don't really quite get what you mean by commanded, but the sized box gives us, defines some a given space either vertically or horizontally. You can choose to have a child inside a sized box. That is, if you want some child inside that space. But if you don't give any child, like in the case of these ones, kama hii, like this or this, it just gives some empty space. It's like it's used to give space between widgets, either in a column or a row. In a column, you use the height because it will give the space in between the items, but in a row, you will provide the width because it will space the things horizontally from left to right. We'll see uh, the one being used for the width in a few. My phone is misbehaving over here, but let's just be patient. Yeah, it's done. So I'll install that real quick. Then we can get back to our, yeah, thank you. So I can just minimize this, nice and easy. And then I now comment this back. We have now the sized box. So as I was telling you, like the sized box, when you have an empty box, it will just give this empty space between this custom app bar and the search area. But if you want to define some height, but give it some widgets, you just provide the child inside the sized box. It's like an empty container. It's like a container, but that is not decorated. That doesn't have any decorations whatsoever. Some cases when you use a container, but you don't give the decorations, Flutter tells you to just use a sized box. Okay. Yeah, I wish I had time to demonstrate that, but don't worry. We were on the image. So the decoration image, you said ours is an asset image. So we'll have an asset image widget. The asset name is just the path. So this is how now you call your image to the UI. So having written this decoration image and the image you specify it is an asset image, you have these quotes and you give the path to our image. Now you want to have this house1.jpg. So how do you call it? You have to provide the whole path to where that image is. That is assets slash images slash house1. And you will also have to give the extension .jpg, because the thing is you can have images of different extensions. There are JPEG images, there are PNGs, there are other image formats. That's why you have to specify like the extension over here. So you don't just give the house1, you have to give the house1.jpg. Okay. Yeah, then I'll have some comma over here and some comma at the end for formatting. So when I save this, it will just be pushed to the next line. So when I save this, you'll not see anything. Why? Because you have not given our container the width. Only specified the height in the parent sized box, that is 250, but you have not given any width. Okay, so let's do some width of 250 also. and see if our image will appear. So when I save this, fingers crossed, nice one. Okay, so now we can see our image over here inside this container. So the next thing is to decorate this container a little bit with the border radius. We have the border radius circular, and in this case we'll have just 10. So I'll see this, and then this space is a little bit big, so I'll go back over here and let me make this 10. The size box that is above this, actually I can remove it, do away with it, and yeah, so you can see this. And then yeah, let's have these corners round. Why is it? This is supposed to have some rounded corners. Something is, so we have this list view children, the container, the width is 250, we have the decoration, border radius of 10, the image is this. There is a property called box fit. I mean the fit of the image within this container. I think I'll provide it, and then we'll see where the error will, whether it will align properly. So we have the fit property, and it just disconnected again. So the fit, I'll have box fit, not box constraints, but rather dot. Let's say cover. I want this image to fit or cover the whole container, because I'm presuming like I assume it is not reaching the ends, so that we rounded. Okay, so let me run this again. Yeah, I really hope this takes a short time. Okay, so from here we'll just, okay, when you look at this design, this image is a little bit blacker, like it's like a little bit darker than this. This one is more clear, and there is a property called opacity. Just a minute. Okay, we look at the opacity. That version, and then we'll continue. Okay, so I hope I'm not moving on. I hope I'm not, that you can see like how it's flowing. In Flutter, basically, it's just like a hierarchy of widgets. This is inside this is inside. If you remember about the widget tree, whereby we have the parent widgets, like the topmost widgets, that is the scaffold, the body, going down to the column, then we have the list view, maybe, and now the children of this list view are this container going down the list. And for the container, we have a width of 250. Decoration is this, the border radius, the image, box fit dot cover. I really hope that it covers the whole container. I have accepted this. I don't know why it's reluctant to install, and it's just wasting our time over here. So just be patient a little bit. And yeah. I hope you're all together. I don't want this to take a lot of time. I really want us to do this design. If we manage to design this one, the rest will just be a matter of reusing this one same container. Okay, you can see this is built. I hope it installs this time. I don't know why it is deciding to disappoint me now. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay. please open. Nice. This is really nice. So as you can see over here, we have the image. It has the rounded corners. Earlier on, we did not have this property of fit. So this property ensures that the decoration image fills in all through, like it covers all the area that is under this container. So I increase this width to 300. You'll see that stretch up to where that 300 reaches. But for let's have 250 back. Okay, and nice. So I might need that size box that I deleted over here underneath the search area. So I'll just have it as a size box. Oh no, something is wrong somewhere with my USB. Okay, let me just finish giving this height. It's a height of 3, then comma at the end. My phone now is starting to feels like misbehaving when you are almost done. Okay, yeah, so let's see. So we can start now having these overlay. There is another container like that is on top of this container that is giving some black shade. If you look closely, this is not the same as it's like there is another container over here which is giving some like some opaque darkish color. So how we do this, inside this container we'll have the child. We'll have the child as another container first, and the purpose container will just to give the color. Okay, and I think we'll have the decoration, then box decoration as usual, and then inside the box decoration you'll have the color as color black. But if I leave this as black, it will overlay our image. Okay, so there is this on every color you can the opacity option. So at the end of the color you have with opacity, this one with opacity, this one is done installing. So let's get back to here. So with opacity, it takes in a value of from 0 to 1.0, like from 0.0 to 1. Opacity basically comes from the word opaque. That is where when you have an opacity of 1, this image is fully opaque. So nikisave hapa, you'll see nothing. Okay, so this is like a container, black container on top of our underlying container. Now we want an opacity of something like 0.5. Okay, so you can still see our image, but it's a bit darkened. Let's say 0.4. So the more you reduce the opacity, the more clear the image is. And note that we have these sharp edges on the second overlaying container. So we'll just remove them by having again the border radius dot circular 10. The parent widget had 10, so this can also have 10. So when I save this, yeah, you can see now our image is kind of bringing this opacity behavior. The next thing we'll have quickly is this row and column with 2 texts. So I'll just be doing this as quickly as possible. So first of all, we have the child as the column, and then in this container we'll have the padding because we want some space inside. If you can look at the design, there is some space inside this container, like on all areas. We'll have padding.all, edge insets.all, have something like 20. Then we'll come back now to our column. So then axis alignment of our column, before we start even giving the child, we know that it will be the main this alignment dot end, because these items we want them at the end of this column. Okay. And then I will provide our children, and the children are this row. It's only a row actually. It's a row. Okay. This row is comprised of column. Let's comment this down for name and address. And then we have the like icon. So when you are approaching any row or a column, it's to give this blueprint of what it will contain so that it will not confuse you, like why are we having a column, then a row, and like that. Okay. So if you have this column and then you have this row, then you have this column for the name and address, when you look at it, you'll just know that this is this column over here that has the name and the address, and then the like icon over here. Okay. Yeah, nice. So we'll move on very quick. So this column is just a column. So I forgot again to provide this under the children. So first of all, you have the children and then the comments. So the first child is a column, and our column is there, and the children are two texts. So text, let me bring this to the center. So we have text, comma, text, like that. Okay. First text is this one. We have American Classic and Highway District 201. So American District. Sorry. It should be an S. Then Highway, I don't know, Highway 101. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the next thing in this row is the like icon. So we'll have a container real quick, and the child of this container will be an icon, and we'll have this icon requires some icon, which I will reach out to the icons class from the material package, and then we'll have the favorites icon, right? Okay, so let's save this and see where all of this will appear. So over here you can see, okay, you can't see anything for now, but okay, let's decorate this text, but you can see some black icon over here. The text is somewhere here, so we'll just come to the text real quick and give it the style. Remember we said we style text by the text styles widget. So inside this text style we'll have the color, colors.white. Then we'll have the weight for the name. The font weight is bold, so we'll have font weight as font weight dot bold, comma, and what else? The size, we'll have the size property as, let's say, something like 16. And yeah, let's save this first. Nice. You can see here there is this American District text, and this size. Then we'll come to decorate the other text below it. So we'll have the style, text style, like that. And then, okay, yeah, inside the text style, we'll start with the color. We'll give colors.white, nice and easy. Then the size, font size will give, not the fully, but rather the font size of like 13. Okay, so let's save this. Nice. This one is here, but when you look at our design, these ones are starting. Okay, so in this column, we'll have the cross-axis alignment as start. So a cross-axis alignment is now the opposite of the main axis alignment. I did not give you like that description earlier because I did not want it to confuse you. In this case, we have this column whereby we have had our main axis alignment as the end, at the end. If you look at this, for this parent column, which has pushed all these contents over here. But then there is something that is called a cross-axis alignment, and it pushes these contents along the opposite direction of the main axis. Okay, So in our case, in this column, the main axis is from top to bottom. So automatically the axis will be from left to right. So you can choose to position your items anywhere along this cross-axis alignment, and they will appear whenever you give them. That is the start, the center, or the okay. So in this case, we want this to start from here. All right. So we will have this cross-axis alignment property. This is how we'll do this. So we'll come to this column. Where is this column that has this both? Okay. We'll have the cross-axis alignment, and now the cross-axis alignment has its own options. That is the center, end, start, or stretch. It to stretch along the wall width. And remember, we are dealing with this column, the column that has these two texts. So we want this cross-axis alignment to start from here. Okay, so let me have this as start, and you'll see effects. Okay, so as you can see, this has been pushed to the start of this column. Mali imeanza. Okay, nice and easy. So we have this icon over here, and it's supposed to be at the other end. So we'll go to the parent row and have the main axis alignment dot space between. Remember, the main axis alignment for the row is horizontally. Don't forget about that. Okay, yeah. So we'll scroll up to this row over here. Then we'll have the main axis alignment as main axis alignment dot space between. So if I save this, you see this icon has been pushed here at the end. Let's decorate the icon very quickly. So the background color is something grayish, and then we have the red icon, and then we have some padding all around. So very quickly we'll pass all of those parameters. So this is the icon. So as you can see, we have this container, but we are being told that this is a necessary instance of a container. Why? Because there is no decoration that you have given unto it. Then why use a wall container? Okay, but since we want some decoration, that's why we're here. So we'll give the box decoration very quickly, and then we have the color. We'll give the colors dot gray. If you look at this color, I think you can see through this like house. So it has some opacity also. So we'll say gray dot with opacity. My phone screen just went off. Let me unlock it back. Okay. So with opacity, very quickly, we have some 0.8. Very nice. Then a comma. And then the border radius, of course, for the round edges, we'll have circular, something like 7, comma. So let's save this first. You'll see, nice. You can see the edges are round, and this transparent, kind of translucent background. Then we want some padding all around the children. That is edge insets dot all. Let's give a padding of 5. So when you save this, nice. Okay, so it's now bringing like the one we had on the design. Also, this icon is color red, so let's change that real quick. So the color over here is colors dot red. And yeah, I think we are now done with one item. So I just want to bring this one over here so that we compare yeah, I think this one is scaled up, so definitely I cannot like put this one alongside it, but yeah, so far so good. So what we'll be using for this list view basically is we will extract one of these containers in a separate widget the way we did, but instead of having it hard coded with these details, we'll just pass them through for each container that we want. That is the different houses that we have in design. So very quickly, I will create a new file in the widgets folder. I hope that now you will, even if I go fast over here, so we have the, how do we name this? The horizontal list item, just like that. You have to name it something that is just plain for everybody to, like, anyone who is reading this will not get confused. The horizontal underscore list underscore item dot nice and easy. Import material stls Flutter stateless widget. You have horizontal list item, and then we did whatever is being returned here. Bring our own container. We had this parent container, the one that had everything, the one that is a child of this view over here. So this is the wall of it up to here inside the list view. So I'll just copy. Actually, I'll cut and I'll paste over there. So when I save this, you'll see now. Okay, so okay, let me have const over here. Yeah, then I copy the name and pass this on here, just like that, and remember to import. Nice and easy. So when I save this, our house reappears again, but now it's just a separate widget. And the beauty of this is that you can now reuse this. So when I copy this and paste like 3 times, let's do this. How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So if I save these items, you'll see these 4 houses together, as you can see. But like this one is, we need some space on the right. Again, we'll use them. So I'll go to one item. If you go to an item, I said you just click on control, then you, after it turns blue, you just click on it. It will bring you here. So in the wall container, I'll just give some margin. Margin will be edge insets dot only right. Sorry, dot only. You want it on the right only. 20 maybe. Let's save that and see. Yeah, you see it has now separated like nicely as in our design. Okay, and yeah, but now another comes in. We have reused one widget, but it has some changing parameters. As you can see, this not all houses have this image or this name or this address. So how do we go about it? Instead of having these as hard coded, we have created this widget. So how do? We pass these as parameters. That is the image path, anything that is changing. So what is changing between different houses? The image, the title, and the address. So you come here to this class, the horizontal list item, and you specify everything that is changing here inside. So we'll have, the first thing is the string title. So we'll have final string title. So here is where now I'll refer you to that. You have to go back to that and learn more about classes and these parameters. But for now, you can just follow along. It's easy. So we'll define all our changing variables, which we have said there are 3: the image path, the title, and address. So the first thing is the string house name. House name very quickly, like that. And then the second thing is the address. This has a double D address. And then that thing is the path, the image path. If you remember in our dat class, we said that a class is like a blueprint of any object in our application, such that when you want to create an instance of that item, like this container, you just pass in those parameters that a basic item has. So we'll have this as required, this dot house name, comma, required this dot, we have this dot address, comma, and required this dot image path. Don't worry about this. Like when I save this, it will format out nicely. So when I save this, so we have defined all the changing parameters over here, and then we have made them required over here inside this. This is called a constructor. It tells us it gives us like the directives of how we will construct the object of this class. So if this is the object you want to create, this constructor give us everything that we need. Like, do we require this image path? Yes. Do we require this title? Yes. Do we require this address? Yeah. So basically this is how to do it. And then now, where we have all these things now, instead of having the path to this image, to this image number one, you'll pass in the string, that is the image path. That's that you have defined hapa juu, this one, the image path that will be passed now, because if all of them are required, there is no list item that will initialize anywhere anywhere else in your code that will not have the image path because it's required. So you pass it instead of the hard-coded path. Inasema hapa the const is not required because again this is now not constant anymore. You have to remove the const. Okay. Then the next thing is the title. So we'll remove this hard-coded text and just pass in the title, the house name. And okay, I have to do it with the cons. And the third thing is the address. Address real quick. And then now we give back the const where they're supposed to be. Okay, so when you come back to this, you can see now these horizontal list items are complaining. Why? We have passed the required parameters. These are the parameters. And by having this required, I say they define how we will create these objects. Okay, so having them required means there's nowhere where you'll initialize or instantiate this horizontal list item kama hujazipeana, like without you passing all those three parameters. Okay, so I'll delete all of this and leave one, and then we'll give the house name. So the house name was American district. Sorry, the second parameter was the S, and that was that is highway 101. And then the third thing is the image path. So the image path, remember you give the wall path of the image that you want for this first item. So this will be assets slash images slash house one. Remember the extension is JPG. Okay, nice and easy. So I'll save this, and now you'll see only one image because we have just created one instance of the horizontal list item. But now you'll notice that it will now become easier to create other instances like the other houses. Why? Because we'll just use the same blueprint. So a class is like a blueprint of how now these items will be created. So when I paste this down here, I can now change another name. So I can have this as African something, like African house, like that. I can change now the address of the second one, highway 102, and now I'll have house2.jpg instead of house one. Now when I save this, you'll see another one will appear over here. The blueprint is the same because we are using the same class or widget, but the details are different. You can see this one has a different image, that is house number 2 image, and the house name, African house, and the address. So with this blueprint or this class or widget, we can now create endless widgets the way we want, because now we have already done the hard part, which was creating one of them like a blueprint, and then you repeat now with changing variables details. So for the third one, use house 3. We'll have 3, and then we'll have the name as what, Latin American house. Nice and easy. Have this as highway 103, image already changed to house 3. So when I save this, that image will appear, that house I mean, and yeah. So that is how we come up with something like this. Okay, any question at the point? Okay, closely following, thank you. So we are on the last part, that is this heading, and then close with this vertical list. So for the vertical list, I think we'll just move very fast because this was where the whole idea was. Like this was like the harder part. For the vertical list, we'll just like brush through quickly, following the same criteria that we have done for the horizontal list. So we'll first have these two headings, which are in a column. Yeah, so we have, we don't need to separate this into smaller, this, because already we have just separated the items. And everyone can see, like, this is just a list view with 3 items and you're done. So we just come to the popular heading, and is this the popular, this is a row, 2 items, space between, this is a row. Yeah, so let's have that very quickly. So a row, the children are 2 texts. So we have the first text, popular, and then comma, and the second text we have see all or show more. I don't know. Yeah, show more. And something is off here. There's no comma. Yeah. So if I save this, these are the 2 texts. Let me have a comma here so that they'll format vertically. The main axis alignment is between. Remember, the main axis alignment of a row is horizontal. So we have space between. So if I save this, one will be drawn on this side. Below this, I want a sized box, like the one that will separate this space over here. So again, very quickly, size box, height, let's say 10. And yeah, when I save this, at least they come here. Let's decorate the first text, that is the popular. And we'll have the style, text style, the brackets, and then first click enter. So we'll come to a new line over here. First of all, make it bold. So we'll use the font weight property. Font weight, we'll have it as font weight dot bold. Then comma, then the size, that is the font size. We'll have it as 20 or 22. Okay, yeah. This is a little bit better. Let's have it at 23. Yeah, a little bit bigger. And then the show more, I think show more should just be small and normal text. Okay, let's make it a little bit gray. So we'll have the style, text style again. Okay, click on enter. So the color is colors dot gray. Sorry, gray. Yeah, it should be like that. And the font size, maybe make it a little bit bigger, 16. Yeah, I think this is fair enough. Because of time, we'll now move to the vertical list. And the vertical list is just the same list. So we'll have our list view over here. Also, for this popular, I think there is no need to separate these 2 texts into a whole file. Yeah, because we have the comment over here. So we'll move to the vertical list, which is our last in this page. And the first thing I want to show you or tell you about some widget called expanded. Again, remember expanded, we used it here to tell this container to occupy all the remaining, all the remaining space inside this row. You remember? This expanded. So I want this list that we are going to create over here, the vertical list, to occupy all the remaining size of this column, the major column. Okay, so I'll start with the expanded widget, expanded over there, and then the child will be the list view. Okay, list view over there, and we'll have a comma over here for formatting, comma, and another comma over here. Okay, and then inside the list view, of course, we'll have the children, and now we want to create this vertical list item, this container over here, and then we'll be done. Okay, so if you remember the same way that we created the horizontal list item and isolated it, that's how we'll create the vertical list item. So what is this item? So is this container, then we have this column of two texts, and then this one at the other far end, the like button. So these are row. First of all, under the container, you have a row because these things are aligned horizontally. And then we have the single items, like one item by itself. So very quickly, we have the container. We have a container, and we have the child as a row, just as we have said. And then inside the row, we first have, remember over here, if you look at this, this will be in a container because of the rounded edges. So we'll first have the container. No. I forgot to give the children. So inside the children of that row, we'll have a container. Sorry, container. I'm trying to be a little bit fast because of time. And again, this is just a repetition of whatever I've been doing previously. So the container, first of all, we have provided this container. We have to give it some height. Remember, now we are dealing with the vertical alignment, so we have to give it some height. When we are dealing with the horizontal list, we give it some width. Okay, so we give it some height. Let's say a height of 80. Okay, now we are inside this row. I think it would be wise if we would first dealt with the container itself, the color, the rounded edges, before we start going to the child, the row. So I'll delete this part first. Okay, so we have given it the height and then the decoration. There's no need to give the color direct because I know I'll need the rounded edges. So I'll give the color inside the decoration colors.white, and then we have the border radius as border radius dot circular. Let's say 20. Let's first save this. Yeah, you can see here there is this nice container, nice white container. Then we'll want some margin from the bottom because another one will come over here. So it's just good to give the margin the way we gave some margin on the right for 20 on this horizontal one. So we have edge insets dot only, and bottom we give 20. Let's do 10. For now, you'll not see it because it's only this one container. But when we reuse this in this list view as a list, you'll now see the effect. Okay. Right. I think we are done. We can also give some padding for the contents inside because, as you can see, they are leaving some space all around. So we'll provide also the padding. It's advisable to use this format that you first have the sizing the sizing properties first, that is the height, width, and then you have the other layout properties, that is the margin, the padding together, like below the width. Okay, so I'll give the padding as all edge insets dot all. We want it all around, so we'll have edge insets dot all 10. Then I'll save that. You cannot see that because there are no children. But when we have children, you'll see they will leave some space of 10 all around. Yeah, I think we can now very quickly move to the child now, which is our row of interest. We have the children of that row, and the first child is this container with an image. I'll not go back to the design. Like we all know, like there is that container. So the container will give it a width of something like T, because now you are dealing with the row. You see, the vertical aspect is already covered. I mean, the vertical distance is covered when we give the height of this container. So we just have to give how wide will this container span to, the one containing the image. So the width 60, then we'll have the decoration so that we pass the decoration image. Okay, so the decoration image, the image I mean, we'll pass the decoration image, and the image is an asset image. Asset image. The path is, we'll just give for house one. We'll just reuse that over here. So assets images slash house one dot jpg. Remember the extension, please. Okay, I'll have a comma and another comma for formatting. So when I format this, it'll be easy to look at everything now from this. So you can have this container. This is the decoration of the container. It has the image, which is a asset image. Another decoration is the rounded edges. So we'll have a radius again of border radius dot circular. Circular. Something like 10. Okay, and remember the fit that we had in the image. We also have it here that will give us box fit dot cover. Box fit dot cover. So this one will tell the, like, okay, let me save this. Yeah, so this one will tell this image to cover the whole container. So you can see our container over here, rounded edges, the 10 padding from the image to the walls or the borders of this container. That was smooth. We'll have a comma over here for formatting. And yeah, we are done with the first container. We are now moving to the second child of this row. That is the column that consists of the text. Okay, so we'll come here, have a comma and then a column. Nice and easy. And the children of this column are two texts. So we'll have the first text and the second text. What is the first text saying? Very quickly, back to our design. Minimalistic house. Let's say minimalistic, house. And then the other one is an address. You can just use the one that was there above the highway 101. This really doesn't matter. So these are a column over here, and we want this column to start at the middle. So what do we do? Remember about the main axis alignment of a column. We'll have the main axis alignment as center, this one. Okay, so when I save this, let's see, why is nothing happening? Yeah, it has pushed this one to the center, but the cross axis alignment I want all these to have the start, like this text to be at the start of this column. So what will I do? I'll give the cross axis alignment. You can give both when you want to style for the horizontal and the vertical direction. Cross axis alignment dot start. So when I save this, you see this highway has been pushed to here. But then I also want some space in between this row, I mean this image and column. So between the container and the column, I'll give a sized box. Remember about the sized box? But in this case, I'll not give the height. Remember, we are the height when we are moving along the vertical direction. But for the horizontal one, we'll give the width. Okay, so we'll give the width. Let's say 5 pixels, and yeah, a colon. I mean a comma at the end. Let me bring this to the center. So I save that, and yeah, you can see now there is a space. Let me make it 10 just for context. Yeah, you can see this one has moved on a little bit. Then we want to decorate this and give it some bold style. So we have the style very quickly, text style. We'll just go through this, and then the font weight will be weight dot bold, and then the font size. What will be the font size? Let's say 18 or 20. 18. Let's do 18. Yeah, let's save. Nice one. You can see this one is this, and then this one will just be left as a plain. I can maybe increase its font a little bit. So I'll have style, text style. Click on enter. Sorry. Let me bring this back at the center over here. So this is what we are styling. So we'll have the font size as 15. Then I'll give a comma. So when I save, it will format vertically. Yeah, I think this is enough. We'll move to the third thing of that row, of this row, which is the decoration. I think I can just copy this over here because of interest of the time. So where was this? This is a horizontal list item. Address, the like icon. So I'll just copy the whole container and reuse it over here. This is not reusing, this is just copy pasting. Yeah, where do I do it? After the column. So a comma, and then I'll paste, then I'll save. This one will appear over here, but I want it at the end. So there is this another widget that I want to introduce you with, I mean, it's called a spacer. So a spacer is a widget that forces all, okay, for in this case, in this row, you can see these two, okay, sorry, the phone just locked itself again. You can see this, when you want this to go to the further end, but these two will remain here. What do? When you use the main axis alignment dot space between, this space will be evenly distributed along these three widgets, but you don't want that. You only want these two to remain. You can wrap this with a row by itself, and then you have another row. Or you can use this spacer widget. So a spacer widget will be placed between any widgets that you want, and it will be used to bring all this space inside, I mean, in between the widgets that you have provided the spacer. So in our case, it's this container and this column. So this is here. You can see this is the end of the column and this is the start of the container. You introduce this spacer widget very fast, comma. So when I save this one will now be forced to the farthest end that it can go inside this row. And a spacer, and remember the expanded, those two are only used inside rows and columns. You cannot use an expanded inside a container or maybe a center widget or a size box. No, you only use them inside the column and the row widgets. Yeah, so I think let's confirm with our design for the last time. And there is no red color and the background is white. So I'll just have this as gray very fast. I'm sorry, gray. And yeah, then I'll have this as white. Just, yeah, at least now it matches our design. So I want to isolate this widget and reuse it here 3 more times, and then we close the business. So how do we do it? So very fast, I'll create a custom widget, vertical list item, vertical underscore list underscore item dot dat. And then as the song goes, import material stls for the stateless widget, vertical list item for the purpose of clear naming. Then I'll copy whatever we have in this container. So this is a container over here. So I'll start from the bottom and select all through, cut it and return it over here. Okay, then I'll save that. This one will disappear. We want to give the variable parameters. So we'll have final string. Okay, basically it's the same thing as we had the horizontal list item. Just copy hizi zenye zina change because they are the three of them: the image, the address, and the name. I'll paste them here. Then I'll just make them required. Where is this constructor? Copy, paste real quick, and then I'll replace for the image path. Sorry for this. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, so this is the image path, and then we'll pass the house name real quick, the house name, and finally the address. Address like that. Okay, then I'll save this. So in our home page, we'll just now have a vertical list item. The house name will be first. What is this? Minimalistic design, minimalistic house, and then click on tab. The address will just reuse the houseway 101. Tab. The image path, remember it is the assets / images / house1.jpg. Okay, then I'll have a comma and a comma. So if I format this, then I save, you'll see our tile, our item. But now I can just copy this and reuse it for the two remaining ones. So I'll just paste twice. For the first one, you'll say this is a futuristic house, highway 102, just for similarity. House 2, then this one will be evolving, let's say evolving design, house design. Okay, this one will be highway 103, and this will be house 3. And nice one. Okay, so we have this vertical list, the horizontal list, and yeah, let's now compare this to our design. So this was our design. I don't know if I can zoom back. Yeah, so this is our design, and this is what you have built. Yeah, and guys, I think we have nailed it. Yeah, I think this is nice, save for like the custom icons and the font, of course, which is different. We have not used any custom fonts or custom icons. We have just used the plain, like built-in fonts and assets. I mean, and icons. But at least you have seen how to lay out these widgets to come up with some objectives. Let's quickly look at tips that I had sent. Okay, I can just state them out. We have like row inside this row. Like here we had this column, or this column inside this row. You now like can look at a design and mentally you like break it down into what is reusable. What can I create once and reuse, like the way you have done for these tiles or this. Where do I need a row? Where do I need a column? How do I separate things in a row, like that? And yeah, like building UIs is as simple as that. You just combine those. You just have to practice this some more. I mean, you just have to practice more and more. The more you practice on this, the more you'll know about these widgets and their properties. You cannot just learn all of them. The more you do it, the more you'll come across these widgets. And I think that's all for today. Unless there is someone with an issue, I can see we are far much ahead of time, but we had a lot to cover, and we couldn't cover it within. I mean, up to 12. I mean, up to 9:30. But I hope you have learned something like about creating this. Yeah. I'm now waiting for those questions. Still, the list view, you can create a custom class. Yeah. If you want to separate this list view, I think I'll just zoom back. Let me reduce the font so that you can see the whole thing. So I'll make this font back to 13. You can now see like this code is easy to read because you'll now know, like, with the help of these comments, you can know that this is a custom app bar. Plus, you know, if you want to go to this file, you just click on control and click. It will take you to that app bar. Okay. Then you can see this is a search bar area. Then this is a horizontal list. You can there's a list view with its 3 items over here. And then you have the popular heading, is the popular text and the show more. And finally, we have this vertical list. Okay, so this code, and of course the bottom navigation bar. So this code would have been better compared to having all these codes that we wrote in these files: the horizontal view, the horizontal item, the vertical item, the custom app bar, all of them stuffed here, the home page. See, that's why, like I told you, it can become hectic. But it's good to practice these good practices as early as now when you're learning, so that you'll be knowing how to even reuse. You know, when you have this kind of code, you'll know what to isolate and reuse. Like, for example, the way you have created this here, one widget, you reuse the rice. One widget over here, you reuse the rice. Yeah. I'm saying that while I'm waiting for the questions. So for the code, I want to push this one to GitHub, and then I will send it. I'll send the link to the group where you will look at it, clone it to your local repository, and go through it slowly. Yeah, Flutter is basically like like to create UIs. They're just enjoyable, like coming up with these layouts and stuff. It's really a lot of fun doing this, and simple one. I mean, it's just this. So let's say, for example, you had this data from an API or Firebase or some backend. Instead of using a list view, there is something called a list view builder, list view.builder. And this one gives you some index whereby you can count the items that are coming from the backend and then display according to the number of those items. But don't worry about that. We'll look at Firebase, I think, next week. Now that we have completed one UI, I had purposed for us to create this details page, but due to time, I think I can give this as a challenge to you. Try seeing how you can come out with this layout, and also using a navigator, like on tap. Like when you tap this, it will bring you to this with its details. Yeah, so having nothing much to say, and I can see the chats are quiet, and I presume quiet silence means understanding and not confusion. So you can leave an assignment, maybe you implement the details page. Yeah. I have shared this image in the group. Yeah, so the image is there. I shared it in the morning. You look at it. You can maybe pairs if you have your friend. Maybe you can try doing this. I'm pushing this to GitHub. So I think if there is nothing else, we can end this here, but I'll be left here like pushing this code to GitHub. I think I can do it live for those who want to stick around. But if there are no any questions, I think I'll I'll forward this back to Alex for the closing shot, and then I'll be left here like showing how to push this code to GitHub and cloning it back to your machine, and yeah, so that you'll follow that procedure when you want to obtain it from GitHub to yourself, ndo uweze kuiangalia. Thank you so much, Caleb and T and how do you pronounce your name? It's it's a bit tricky for me, but thank you so much for that. Yeah, cheers. Back to you, Alex.
Okay, that was a nice session, everyone. First of all, forgive me for the background music. I have weird roommates here. Yeah, so yeah, thank you, Victor, for that session. Actually, it was very long. And if your worker time was working, I can see that you have a worker time error in your VS Code. You would have added a streak actually. So the session was informative. The session was nice. And so I think we'll have to put that into practice. I'm going to create also a UI. I'll share in the group. You can also do the same, and we can share our progress in the group. Yeah. So with that, I don't think I have much unless anyone has a question. But for now, yeah, the meeting has been ended officially. Yeah, thank you all for joining, and thank you, Victor, for the session.
Nice one. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alex. So yeah, I think you can now leave at your own pleasure, or how do we say? But for those who want to stick around to learn about Git and GitHub, I think we can spare some 10 minutes